the Woodpreneur Podcast, where sawmill owners and lumber entrepreneurs grow their businesses. Every week, real stories from the timber industry, whether you're starting small or running a big operation. Subscribe for real stories and insights from the industry.
Hello, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Woodpreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Alger, and today I have with me Justin Czar from the East Coast, from Pennsylvania, with Liberty Lumber Products. So welcome, Justin.
Thank you for having me. And I just want to make one correction. I'm originally from Pennsylvania, but I'm located in Rhode Island, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. I was reading through your stuff. So Liberty Lumber Products is in Rhode Island.
Yes, we are.
Got it. All right. So, I was going to ask you about Marty with the Pennsylvania Woodmiser over there, see if you know him. But if you're not in
I know Marty.
Pennsylvania.
Is fantastic. And I
Oh,
talk to
good.
Marty.
Okay.
Talk to Marty all the time when things break around here, and he
Oh,
always picks up his
so do
phone. So
I.
big shout out to Marty.
Yeah. There's we both work with Woodmiser, Marty and I, and there's parts of the business or parts of Woodmiser that I know really well, and he'll ask me questions, and then there's anything mechanical. I'm like, hey, Marty,
Yeah.
why is this engine doing this?
Yeah.
So,
we
anyways,
actually purchased a 54-inch slabber. So
okay,
learning the ins and out, I've been texting and I would say video chatting Marty more than he would like probably, but
I'm sure he loves it. He loves
yeah.
what he does. So yeah,
Yeah,
well,
definitely.
cool. So, anyways, back to Justin. Justin, tell me a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your background. Like how did Liberty Lumber Products come to be? And what did you do before that?
So I was born and raised in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, which is a blue-collar steel town. I
Okay.
grew up there and then went through high school. And then I ended up actually meeting my wife in New York City a couple years after that. So I was kind of bounced around from job to job, just didn't really know where I wanted to do with my life. And then I met her in New York, and she has a very large Portuguese family. And I have a smaller family in Pennsylvania, and there was no chance she was going to move to Pennsylvania. Um, so I ended up moving up here, honestly, not with a whole lot. And I was kind of going from job to job. I was in my early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found a job doing fencing. And I kind of was like, this is the worst job ever. And then I was like, 5 years later, I was still doing it. And then I went on to work for a union fence company up in Boston, Massachusetts. So I was traveling from Rhode Island every single day
Mm-hmm.
and making that commute. And then I started side hustling. I would come home, like especially during the summer, I would come home, do a side job. And then honestly, I saved up enough money to start my own fence company. And it was in a good position because I was kind of, I would say, living at
So,
my,
worst job in the world. Let me start one.
yeah. So I never let go of it. Yeah. So I never let go of it. And then I said one day, I just said, you know what? Let me try to do this on my own. I had enough cash saved up to where if
Mhm.
things didn't go all that well, I would be able to survive for a year or two
Yeah.
and, still pay the bills. So it ended up, I worked hard and it was successful. And then we go to the pandemic, right? So we
Mm.
all those years,
Mhm.
we did well. We hit the pandemic, and then all of a sudden, I wasn't able to get the softwood I needed because we do a lot of cedar here.
Oh,
So then
okay.
I had to kind of like shift gears, and I was getting rough sawn lumber out of Vancouver, and I
Mhm.
didn't have a planer. But the one thing I did not tell you in the beginning is both my grandfathers were woodworkers, and I was always kicking around their shop, even when I was like 5 years old, all the way up
Okay.
so that's kind of where the love for woodworking came from.
Okay.
But in order to process all the cedar that we would usually get at S4S, and it was
Mhm.
coming in rough. So I needed a commercial grade planer. And then all of a sudden I started building other things. And then I started working on river tables, and I was like, then I started getting good at it. And then I would say that things hit the fan is what my wife calls it. Full blown
That's
midlife
that's when
crisis.
that's when you got the bug, huh?
The
Full
bug
blown
isn't
midlife
it isn't
crisis.
really the word, but I ended up going to eye dry, and then I ended up, so I'm all in. If you look in my back
Mhm.
shop, there's a lot of equipment back there.
Well, good. Sounds like you're having fun with it. So I'm still stuck on the this is the worst job in the world. Let me start this. So now I got to ask, let
Yeah.
me start my own company of this. So when you started your own fencing company, was it better? So what was it about that you didn't like, and what made it better, if it was better when you started your own company?
Yeah, well, I would say when I started it, I was probably 22 years old, and I
Okay.
didn't have, you're digging a hole by your, I was in total shock of that. So after you start doing it over and over and over again, and you start to learn the trade, it's a great trade, to be honest with you. Not a lot of people do it. It's hard work,
Is
but
it?
we built it. We made it easier. We bought the right equipment and made it easier for the installers to do the job. So
So you got an auger.
yeah, we have a few Toro Dingoes here and large trucks we can get all the material on, but it's still hard work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anything. I don't know of anything working with wood of any kind that's not hard work. That's not a little physical.
I agree with you. This is even loading that eye-dry kiln has its
Oh my
ups and downs.
goodness. Yeah, the kiln loading, it's not easy, especially, maybe it's probably a little easier in fencing. I know when we're doing dimensional lumber, it's a little easier to load both of our kilns. We have a Wood-Mizer Nile and iDry, and whenever we're loading either of those, it's a little easier when it's dimensional versus slabs and random. This is a different length and that's a different size. That's
Yeah,
hard and that's
yeah.
chaotic.
It's like putting a puzzle together to be quite with the
Exactly.
slabs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and trying to make sure you're at the same height, if this slab's 4 foot and and then you've got some burl cookies in there, it ends up being quite a job.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
So that's kinda where you were. How did that morph into, was it always called Liberty Lumber, or did it morph into that later?
So my fence company is called Liberty Fence, which is I
Okay.
went to Liberty High School in Pennsylvania, so I kind of just kept it, and
Yeah,
I may actually merge them at some point. I think that possibly makes sense. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I really do enjoy it.
great.
It has had its challenges. I'm not going to lie. Maybe the timing of starting the business is the biggest challenge. I thought it would be, well, everybody knows who I am. Now I'm just doing something different, but it really didn't pan out that way as
Yeah,
of right now. We've had
yeah.
our ups and our downs, but I would say the economy is it's not very favorable for a startup woodworking company.
Yeah, yeah. So what would you say some of the biggest challenges with it is? Just sales, just converting, because you already know the people. Is it just converting to the sale, or cash flow for they're not
I would
buying?
say converting the sales because I mean it's a different fencing customers are not buying hardwoods really. You got to tap into more of the cabinet makers, countertop guys, and
Right.
we
Different
fabricate
class.
all yeah we fabricate everything here too. So there's so many different avenues of the business, but lumber sales has to be probably the biggest part of it.
Okay. Okay. So your fencing is cedar, softwoods. You guys don't get any redwood out there, do you, for fencing?
No,
No.
mainly Western red. I use Western red cedar over the Northern white cedar.
Okay.
The Northern white has kinda gone downhill, I would say. I don't know exactly why, maybe they're harvesting the trees a little young,
Yeah.
not sure, but British Columbia usually has the best, which brings in the tariff issues that we have right now.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Um, in that sense, so the tariffs have hit you pretty hard then with your fencing
Yeah,
set, with
yeah,
the
and at the end of
softwood.
the day, not talking any politics or anything like that, but I
Yeah.
believe the end user is the one that gets hurt the most.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's funny because I'm hearing two different things from different people based upon their perspectives and how they're buying, and the people who are buying equipment from overseas or buying product from overseas or trying to sell overseas, they're the ones that are really struggling with it. And then those that are selling something that's just, hardwoods, say, the hardwood people who are selling more on a local regional level, they seem to be doing better with it. And so I'm seeing these two different things. Would you say it's because you're getting from BC that
In that certain area,
you're seeing some
and
costs?
yeah, we do mill all of our slab lumber here.
Okay.
And I have been outsourcing some of the dimensional lumber, It's
Okay.
actually a company out of Canada, so I believe the logs come from America. They go up there, get processed, dried, and then it's shipped back.
And then they come back. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the lumber is absolutely beautiful. It's just hard to get it from somewhere else when you're getting such a great product. And my
Yeah.
customers love it too. So
Okay. So on the slabs, you're processing those. Sounds like you might have an LX 250. Is that correct?
that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got an LX 250. You're slabbing, and those logs are going up there and coming back, or just the softwood
No,
logs?
no, no. Just we're slabbing it here and drying it here. That stuff
Got it. Got
is
it.
never
Okay.
leaving.
Okay. So where are you
But yeah,
sourcing
I
them?
don't. I'm sorry.
Oh, where are you sourcing them?
Of
Your
loggers,
logs.
local log. Most of them are
Okay.
local loggers. A lot of the stuff here is Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island.
Great.
Yeah. And when I have a really large order for a table or something like that, I may
Mhm.
outsource that too. I mean, Berkshire's up the street here. They
Yeah,
have some
I
pretty
know
big
them.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. They had, one of the first WM1000s in the States. We had the prototype of it, and once we were done testing it, we shipped it to them and ordered a different one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, so
yeah, they're
they're
nice
good
people
people,
up
good
there.
company, and great supply. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So, who's your average client that comes to you for,
We have contractors, homeowners, and
okay,
then people just looking for us to build them a table as well.
okay, great.
And we've kind of found a little niche doing some company branding on the tables because we do have a CNC back there too. So, like when I said I went all in, there's
You
everything
went
back
all
there.
in. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And I will say the folks at Phantom CNC have been fantastic. They're located down in North Carolina.
great.
We have built a partnership with them, and their support's fantastic. So if anybody's looking for a CNC machine in the future,
Well,
by all
wonderful.
means.
Yeah, I'm sure the listeners will appreciate that. They always like to get recommendations from somebody who's actually using it, not a sales pitch. So
Yeah,
very
definitely, definitely.
yeah. So what's your favorite project that you've ever done?
So we recently built a custom charcuterie cart for a vineyard not far from here. The
Mhm.
name is Newport Vineyards. They're the
Oh,
largest vineyard in New England, and they asked us to build them a charcuterie cart that fit the vineyard, but it also had to be compliant with the health department. So it needed to have a refrigerator in it. So it was made out of all walnut, and we actually carved off a wine barrel, and it's actually on the front of it. We actually have a YouTube video if you want to check it out. That was
oh,
part of
where would we find that?
it's Liberty Lumber Products YouTube channel.
Liberty Lumber Products on YouTube. Very cool.
Yeah. So we actually gained 42,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool.
That is amazing. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah. Thank you. So
Great.
that was kind of the coolest one, but other than that, we built some very large tables. We're actually building one in the back that's going to Martha's Vineyard, 15 feet long, is a white oak farmhouse table.
Oh,
So that'll be
nice,
fun.
nice.
Yeah.
We're so jealous of you guys for your our hardwoods are beautiful. They're stunning. They're amazing. Have all this great character, but and we get 15-foot white oak, and we'll get longer white oak, but it's not often. And they start to branch out
Yeah.
on us. Your guys' wood grows so straight. You can really get the long pieces out there. So
Yeah.
we're a
Yeah.
little jealous.
Yeah. White oak is extremely trendy. I don't know what's going on, but I can't even keep the white oak in here. And everybody,
Mhm.
they come looking for it every day,
Yeah,
but as soon as a stack comes in, it goes out. So
yeah, yeah. Those are good problems to have.
yeah, those are great problems to have.
I keep hearing from designers. I was at a home show this last weekend that the designs are trending dark again, and the dark warm with the gold hardware, and that's what they were all saying. But when people came to our booth and looking for stuff, all they wanted was the light, the ash, the white oak, all the lighter colors, and then they're
Yeah,
wanting to take the Rubio and do the Rubio 5% white or cotton white or something like that over it just to make sure no gold comes through.
exactly. Yeah, we're actually a Rubio Monaco dealer here too.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
cool.
yeah. So shout out to them, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, shout out to them. We use them for everything and have it here too. So very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. So do you use Rubio on on most of your tables, or do you give people a choice? How do you bid a
Yeah,
table?
I'll definitely give them a choice. It kind of depends on the look that they're looking for. I
Uh-huh.
do use polyurethane though. For outdoor products, we use ML Campbell,
Mhm.
their outdoor product. But it kind of depends. When I started using poly, I was like, I don't really like it. But then, the durability between and poly and lacquer
Yeah.
and conversion varnish, especially in a restaurant setting when we're doing tables for a restaurant with all the chemicals that they have to abide by and put on. You
Right,
gotta
right.
have
And the
something that's gonna hold
cleansers.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard for Rubio to stand the test on that, but it is a wonderful product for in people's homes, and they can take it in fairly quickly and it not smell. There's no residual
Yeah.
smell. Or there is a residual smell, but it's delightful.
It is. It actually
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So
Just make
very
sure you
cool.
throw out those rags, that's all.
What's that?
You make sure you throw your rags outside the building or your shop or wherever after you
Yeah,
use Rubio.
right, right. Yeah. We were talking to somebody the other day and they had their shop burned down from that and I know my mom she was cleaning and it wasn't Rubio back then, but she was cleaning with the oil rag and threw it under the sink when she was done and the house burned down when I was a baby.
Oh my god.
So,
That's such
yeah,
a horrible
so
story.
it was
Every
so
customer who
real.
buys the Rubio here, even everybody, I just said, "Please make sure you get the rags, whatever you use, out of the house or in a steel bin." It's
Yeah,
very important. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Very dangerous. That's a great point.
Yeah.
All of the oils should have that on it when
It
they
should
go
be, like,
out.
front and center, to be honest with you, because it's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, because average homeowner, they don't know. They just wanna do a project, doing their first one-off project, they buy a slab from you
Yeah.
and take it home. So, yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. What I mean, other than, just kinda shifting gears, getting a new customer base, sounds like you're doing great with at least one channel of your social media. What are some other obstacles and challenges that you've faced?
Well, I had my first shop injury, I would say, that happened last year. Yeah, but that's not like a huge ordeal, but I cut my hand on the bandsaw. You can see a scar right there. So luckily it went through the side of my hand and it was my own stupidity. And, when we go all the way back and we travel back to my grandfather's wood shop, he always had other carpenters stop by. And when I was young, I'd be like, and that's what I'd say, Grandpa, why are these guys missing fingers? And he'd be like, they're not paying attention. And
Yeah.
that was my first of not paying attention moment. And luckily it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, you're very fortunate. Well, glad it you didn't lose a finger or a hand on that one.
Yeah, I have numbness. I didn't get the surgery because I didn't want to stay out of work too long, but there's just some numbness, but I have full range, which is all you can ask for, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
lesson learned and that little bit of numbness will remind you daily to pay attention.
Yeah. Didn't affect my golf game. I'm still terrible at that. So
Jeez. So you didn't miraculously make it to where you just get those perfect
oh, no. I didn't get my tour card in the mail yet, no. Not yet.
bummer. Oh, bummer.
But, other challenges, I don't think internally, like, I have great employees. We have great carpenters here. Um, just mainly, I would say, building has slowed down has been the challenge. Middle
Yeah.
class, like I had said to you before we went on camera, it seems like everybody's, kinda tensed up, not spending,
Yeah,
on
holding on to
things
your money a
that
little more.
yeah, they can wait for a table, they can wait for this, they can wait for that, things that and you hold on to your money for things that you really need, and when things happen, like a water heater, boiler, whatever it may be.
Right.
So, you know, I believe it'll swing around, but
Yeah.
only time will tell.
Yeah. This is the year. It's gonna happen. There you go. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
What do you do for marketing? What do you do to encourage that?
I'm very heavy on social media, hence the YouTube channel. We're pretty well known on Instagram. I believe that's how I was found here
Okay.
on your channel.
Yeah.
I do most of that myself. I don't do the editing on the long form video. I have somebody do that for me because it's just
Mhm.
a little bit above my pay grade when it comes to shorts and all of that. And I try to we do TikTok lives here in the shop, and people seem to love that, to actually see things being made. And I think that's kind
Yeah.
of where social media is going. And we can also sell our product. Well, I didn't show you absolutely everything, but I'm wearing this Tennessee hat. We're officially licensed with 5 schools. And that's kind of where the epoxy comes in. I can show you some, like we're licensed with Penn State. So we
Oh,
take,
great.
yeah, so we take the actual hardwoods and put logos and things like that on them. And there's Tennessee, same color as my hat. So
Yeah.
we're trying to bring like woodworking and high end, barware and things like that to
Right.
the college fan base. I love college sports in general.
Yeah.
So I basically went into Providence College and I showed them some of the products, and that opened the door for the other universities, which is really cool. So really
Yeah.
excited
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. That is exciting. How long have you been doing that?
I believe we completed our first year since we signed with Providence College. And then,
Okay.
what I put in for Tennessee was the big one. My whole family actually lives down there, and I love East Tennessee. The Smoky
Yeah.
Mountains are beautiful. So
Very cool.
that's another part of building our company. I'm hoping it really goes that direction, but we'll see.
I could see that really taking off with the right marketing. I could see that really being something super popular because that's not something that most people take the time to go get that licensing. They're like, "Oh, I can't do that. That's not, or they do
Yeah.
this one off, but they can't market it. They can't advertise it because they don't have the rights to it." And you've taken the
Yeah.
steps to get that, and that's huge.
Yeah, and there's
Mhm.
royalties involved, but it's really cool because you're giving back to some of the school's programs and their scholarships and everything like
Right.
that with every single purchase. So
Yeah.
we're really really excited about that portion of our business. So
And if it's just a royalty, you're not paying them in advance. It's only when it sells, right? So you're
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So there's no downside. That's amazing. So
yeah.
speaking of marketing, what are you doing to market that? How are you getting word out there on that?
Mainly, I'm targeting on Instagram
Okay.
because I noticed that the us building it in like a 30-second clip kind
Hmm.
of kind of does it. We
Yeah.
actually, yeah, we actually took branches from the universities that fall down on the ground, and we chop them up into little golf ball markers and put the logo on from the
Hmm.
campus. So it's like you get a piece of the college in your golf bag, and we sold a lot of those.
Oh, that is super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
You still have that provenance to go with it. Yeah.
Yeah, Providence and Tennessee, Penn State. They actually use every single piece of everything that falls on the ground, whether it be for some reason they won't give up the branches, but that's fine by me. It's fine.
And that's in Tennessee.
Tennessee, Penn State is the one that they actually use.
Oh,
They
got
have
it. Okay.
something called the Elms Club, and there's a lot of elm trees on the
Yeah.
campus. They kind of use the lumber, and they have certain people that can sell the lumber, so it's fine.
Got it. Got it. So they're repurposing it and yeah,
Yeah,
giving it that
y-
second life. That's cool.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So social media seems to be your go-to for marketing. What's your Instagram handle?
it's at Liberty Lumber Products.
So and TikTok the same?
Same
All
on all
right.
of them.
All
Yeah,
right. And are you on Facebook?
yep, we're on Facebook.
All right. So
Isn't Facebook just for older people like us? Isn't that what they're saying now? I don't use Facebook.
that's where that's what they say, and we have a way larger following on Instagram than on Facebook. But guess where the money comes from?
Facebook.
Who has the money? Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
So, yeah, and that's changing, I'm sure, but right now that's where the money comes from. And
Yeah.
and we do get people come in the door from Instagram, so Instagram's definitely worth doing, definitely make money, but most sales we can direct most of our marketing back to Facebook.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Good to
So,
know. But they kind of intertwine together. So if you do like a real ad, they will show them on both.
yeah, they will. They will. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're really targeting down and nailing down where did they actually see this that made the purchase, we're finding it's Facebook.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop doing Instagram because it's still worth it. It's still there. We
Yeah.
don't do as well on TikTok, but that's because I forget I have it. So we do a lot of other things. But I would think and maybe not, but I would almost think if you're not already, that LinkedIn might be a good one for schools and for that part of it, because there's so many different people on there who, that's where they
Yeah.
went,
Yeah.
to one of these schools, and you could really pitch it to that, especially if it was a local regional wood with a regional story, that backstory, and
Yeah.
tag it into some of the urban forestry people, the Forest Service people, and
Yeah. Actually, one of the news channels in Knoxville, Tennessee is going to be doing a piece on our company. So I'm actually going to be going down there probably in another month or so.
oh,
And
nice.
then other than that, I had a Penn State podcaster who has a really, really large following with the sports teams. So we're going to advertise there because that's really
Ooh,
where
that's
we want to hit.
wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah. So we're working out all those kinks, and it's just a matter of branding. And then by that time, hopefully in the future, things will really take off. Because
and then you'll be able to, "How can I keep up? We need more
yeah,
people."
I know. Then you're on the other side of this, but
Good problems.
yeah, the thing I really like is I do a lot of epoxy work, and I would say I'm pretty good at it at this point. And I don't, I think like the whole river table thing is kind of dying out, in my opinion. Like when
It's
you're ripping
softening for sure. Yeah.
yeah. But I would say if you have a slab that didn't have life, it's all split, it looks cool. It didn't have a life
Mhm.
before. To give it a life, maybe throw some black epoxy in there.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. But when it comes to colleges, there's so many colors, right? And to be able to make these products is really, really neat. And I personally enjoy it a lot. So
Yeah.
I'll keep
Well,
it
that's
going.
cool. That's it's important to be able to do what you love, and to
Yeah.
enjoy the products that you're making instead of it being, "Oh, this is the worst job ever. Why am I digging a fence hole?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So but yeah, so we're loving what we do here for sure.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So, what's next for Liberty in 2026? What are your goals?
I would honestly say I need a little more of an outside presence here at our local facility. And I really need to kind of target here. Sometimes I'll get lost in targeting what's going on with the colleges, but I really need to focus on, what's here at home as well.
Yeah.
So as I'm talking to you, I'm watching cars just zip by here. And right
Mhm.
now there's not enough outside presence to know exactly what we're doing. And
Well,
that has to be the first thing. So
okay.
we need to have lumber outside
Yeah.
and not our kiln dried stuff in the summer because it'll just,
Mhm.
you know how that works. They'll
Yeah.
take it, they'll take it on as quick as they let it out. So
Yeah.
with the humidity here, but a little bit of that, and just being able to service. Sometimes people come in and they just want a piece of pine, and
Mhm.
I need to have that here and
Yeah.
focus more on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So getting more street visibility.
Yeah,
It's good that you're on a busy street. Not everybody has that luxury, especially in our industry. A lot of us have to be tucked off the beaten paths, and nobody can see our, you know,
yeah. Well, the
yeah.
mill is tucked away. The mill's tucked away up the street, actually, at a tree company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I didn't wanna take that chance. I love what I do here, but there are some residential houses in the neighborhood,
Right.
so I wouldn't want a sawmill buzzing in my backyard, so to speak.
Yeah, while you're trying to nap or whatever. So you partner with a tree service to get some of your logs then?
I did, yeah, a local tree company, Barrier Tree Service, he's right up the road, so, I had the mill here, and it was just kinda
Yeah.
sitting here because I was a little tentative on sending it up here, and it's like,
Mhm.
"Well, I'll help you out with that side of the business," and honestly, it's been very, very helpful.
Good.
There's more support equipment up there, then I can just take the lumber here and I'll do my thing and get it to the market.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You had mentioned employees. How many employees do you have?
I think a total between both companies, I have 15 employees.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Hopefully we expand it.
yeah, yeah. This will be the year.
I'm sure it is. I hope so.
Anything else that you care to share? Any other exciting things you want to say before we jump off?
Yeah, so I just wanted we started a organization called the Rhode Island Wood Operators. So it's a bunch of loggers, carpenters, guys who sell lumber, things like that. So we all kind of came together here and we're trying to keep the industry moving, right? So I'm not a
Mhm.
logger, but I really enjoy hearing how it's all done. And I've actually gone out there and the job's no joke, to be quite honest with you. But the goal is to keep people coming through and being part of the industry
Right.
here in Rhode Island. We're the smallest state, but um, we do harvest a lot of lumber here, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
So our goal for that is that, and we also do charity events, a log a load every single year. We have
Oh,
raised about $85,000 for the Children's Hospital here in Rhode Island.
that's great.
Um, yeah, so I would say if you could, give us support, and I know there's other organizations that I don't know about that are national,
Mhm.
but I would say that here in Rhode Island, we're kind of trying to do our part with keeping things, keeping loggers, keeping carpenters, and keeping sawmills open because
Yeah,
a
that
lot of
whole
saw,
cycle of wood products, forestry products, that's
yeah,
great. That's great.
yeah, and I would also say one thing when things are kind of tough, and I believe 27 mills in New England alone have gone out of business in the
Mm.
past year and a half. I say helping each other out is probably a good thing right now rather than,
Yeah.
not. So,
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, it's been rough. Right during COVID, our industry I think spiked and peaked, and because lumber prices were through the roof, everything was soaring, and then now it's like it's plummeted, and so yeah, helping each other out and building up the industry and just educating that wood is good and people are looking to buy a product and they're looking at a composite or some synthetic material or wood. Always, I don't care if you buy it from me or you buy it from anyone, buy wood. Just go with wood.
yeah.
Wood is
Yeah,
good.
well, it's great. So I want to thank you, Jennifer, so much for your time, and thank you to anybody who kind of checks us out in the future. We appreciate the support.
Well, we definitely appreciate having you on, learning a little more about your business, and anybody looking for a specialty product from your alma mater, go ahead and check out Justin at Liberty Lumber.
Thank you very much. You take care.
Thank you all for listening to another episode of the Woodpreneur Podcast. If you have not already, please go like, subscribe, and share. And you can listen every Thursday morning wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks again.
Take care.